We're going to get started here with our first speaker in just a moment. I want to start by just saying thank you so much for being here and taking time out of your day to be here for what I believe is the most important fight we have in this world right now. Bodily autonomy. I own my body. And we are here to fight for the preservation of our right to be exempt from injections. So our first speaker today has been fighting this battle for over 20 years. She is a nurse. I have so much respect for her, for the fight she has put up so far, and I've learned so much from her. She's the president and co-founder of Citizens Council for Health Freedom and the author of the book, Big Brother in the Exam Room. It is my honor and my pleasure. And please welcome Twila Brase.
Well, thank you, freedom fighters, and welcome to the Capitol. I hope you take this opportunity to really make your voice known. So let me start with a simple fact. A simple fact. Vaccine mandates are wrong. Our mission at Citizens Council for Health Freedom is to protect patient and doctor freedom. That means your freedom. That includes the freedom to say yes and no to vaccination without retribution, loss of income, or restrictions on your right to live and move freely in society. So vaccination, like any medical treatment, should be by choice, and choice alone. It should be by informed consent. All the right information, not only part of the information. The past year tells you why. Have you noticed what began in 2021? The stream of sudden deaths. The explosion of devastating life-altering conditions after COVID shots. The CEO of One America, which is a very large life insurance company, said that deaths among the working age people, that's age 18 to 64, were up 40% in the last half of 2021. He said that that was a 1 in 200-year catastrophe. And he said that the 40% increase is just unheard of. Why haven't we continued to talk about that story? Why did this happen? Could it be because the COVID shot was rolled out in early 2021 and continued through the end of 2021? Well, another startling fact emerged in 2021. Reports of vaccine adverse events in the U.S. from then until now are up 1,844%. All you have to do is look at the Open VAERS database. This is likely the tip of the iceberg because studies have shown that not all adverse events are even reported. So then, of course, you all know what happened on Sunday with the NFL player Damar Hamlin suffering a cardiac arrest on the field after a tackle. The interesting thing was his heart was not easily restarted. It wasn't just like plain old fibrillation, boom, defibrillate, start the heart, right? And it's still touch and go. Major media was quick to suggest a rare heart condition, commotio cordis. But some sources say that this has never been reported in 100 years of NFL history despite hundreds of thousands of tackles. So a lot of the major media said, nothing to see here. What do you see? The American people have been violated by the COVID shot mandate. Many have been harmed. Some already know it. Others have yet to find out. Some may experience no injury whatsoever. But a recent study found that messenger RNA, which is the Pfizer and the Moderna shot, are still generating the toxic spike protein in the body 60 days later. And that's when they quit looking. It could have been 90, 120, nobody knows. Actually, nobody knows when messenger RNA will stop generating spike protein, and the reason they don't know is because they never checked for it in the research, much like they didn't check to see if the shot would even stop transmission of COVID. So the government, with the assistance and cooperation of big pharma, major media, big business, and some judges, has engaged in the dangerous nationwide experiment on Americans. But I want to add here, which is not in my notes, that I'm very happy for the media that has come to hear us today. So citizens, young and old, have been forced to take the COVID shot through a campaign of deceit, limited research, taxpayer-funded censorship, and unethical and unconstitutional mandates that violate human rights at every level. Various agendas, from profiteering to lucrative royalties, to medical tyranny, to the World Economic Forum's global reset, may be at play in this act against humanity. It's no secret that many in the public health community have often wanted the power to vaccinate at will, whatever they wanted, whenever they wanted. But here's the truth of the matter, and don't forget this. The government is not your parent. The government is not your king. It does not own you. The government is your servant, not your ruler. As Abraham Lincoln once said, this is a government of the people, by the people, and for the people. And I'm going to say it is not a government of Tony Fauci, by Deborah Birx, or for President Biden. It's for you. It was created for you. It exists to protect your individual rights, your freedom, and your property, including your personal decisions about medical treatments. The FDA has not been your friend, has not been your side, and has not shown interest in protecting your rights and safety. The FDA had all the Pfizer research documents before the emergency use authorization was issued, before the mandates began. They knew the dangers of the COVID shot, and they did it anyway. The injection mandate, along with impeding access to life-saving early treatment drugs, requiring you to breathe through a barrier, and forcing your loved ones to die alone, is a crime against humanity. The next step of those wanting to force vaccinations on all Americans will likely be to try to put the emergency mandates into permanent law. We must not let them do that. Here in Minnesota, some are already pushing to end the personal exemption, the right to make a personal choice about vaccination, all vaccination now and into the future, the right for adults to choose for themselves, and the right for parents to choose for their children. All of that would be gone by law, illegal. They've tried to eliminate vaccine choice in the past, and they may think now, in the aftermath of the pandemic, with one side in power, is the perfect time to push this through. But it's not, and it's because all of you are here, and all of you are going to do your level best to make sure that never happens. Notably, this is not a partisan issue. The vaccine doesn't play favorites. It has hurt Democrats, Republicans, independents, socialists, and everyone in between. Just ask the vaccine injured. They know. The COVID shot also hurts the immune system. One study found antibodies against COVID-19 showed up in, listen to this, 93% of the unvaxxed, but in only 40% of the vaxxed. So something happens with the immune system that doesn't allow the antibodies to build against COVID. Another study found the COVID boosters do nothing against the current variants. They simply force the body to create antibodies against the long-gone Wuhan variant, the one from the very beginning. This is called immune imprinting. Other studies have found the vaccinated to be more susceptible to getting COVID and getting hospitalized from COVID. As this Minnesota session begins, you must fight to keep vaccine choice. Lives are at stake. Hearts, young hearts, are at stake. Health is at stake. Once they violated your body through forced vaccination, what will they believe they have the power to do in the future? If they can force you to be injected with untested genetic materials that force your body to become a spike-generating machine, how else might they intrude on the sanctity of your body and your right to bodily autonomy? As I said, this is not a partisan issue. It's an issue of rights and freedom and protection from harm. Several years ago, Democrat Senator Jeffrey Hayden stood up for the Somali community, which has faced high rates of autism. At a Senate hearing, he spoke out against eliminating the personal exemption. You too must take a stand. And while you're here today, ask your legislators for something you're not thinking about. Ask them to shut down the vaccination registry, the surveillance system. Vaccination is a quality metric, and doctors who don't have your children or you fully vaccinated can be docked financially, and it all happens through surveillance. So I've written all about this in my book, Big Brother in the Exam Room. So for those of you who have heard, not seen, this is where you can hear all about privacy for patients and the harm of the electronic record that's been imposed on all your doctors and hospitals. The time to stop the vaccine mandate and vaccination surveillance is now. The place to stop it is here. Thank you very much for coming. Thank you very much for being a voice for patients, parents, and doctors. Thank you.